Hi there, and welcome to Pot and Kettle Studios for some vinyl installation instructions. This video is a deeper look at the hard copy of the instructions that you should have received with your original decal. Should have been in a box like this, possibly a larger tube, possibly rectangular. Either way, on the inside we're going to find a wall decal or decals, a set of instructions, and a test decal. First things first, let's take a look at this wall decal so we know what we have. The wall decal is comprised of 3 layers. Top layer is the transfer tape. This is the translucent portion, and its job is to hold the vinyl together as you're placing it on the wall. Beneath that and attached to it, you've got the vinyl decal itself. It's the black text in this example. And at the base is a white release liner that's got a grid printed on the back of it. This grid comes in handy should you need to do any cutting of your decal prior to installation. That's what's in the box. Let's look at some tools you might want to have. As you look at this, you can see that there's some redundancies, so use what you've got and what you prefer. I would always take a utility knife over scissors, for instance. And if you don't have a wallpaper squeegee, you can substitute a driver's license and even a credit card, but just take care with those items. That's about it for the materials. Let's dive into the installation. And welcome back to Pot and Kettle Studios for the Hinge method of installation instructions. This is the method we like for mid to large sized graphics. By that we mean anything that is greater than 2 feet in either direction, or something that's simply too large to comfortably be handled by one person. So if you've got something smaller, you might want to go back and look for the peel and stick installation instructions. We've got our box, it's got our decal in it, and along with the other goodies, we're going to take that out and unroll it on a nice large flat surface face up. It's going to have a bit of curl to it. The amount of curl will depend on the graphic itself and how long it's been in a box. So get some books, whatever, it's going to have to sit there for a few hours, if not overnight. Also, if you notice at this time, surface imperfections, things that appear as folds and or wrinkles, this is very normal, happens during shipping all the time, will not affect the installation. While that rests, we can take a look at the wall prep, which really just consists of cleaning the wall so that it's dust and grease free. And if you have painted recently, wait at least 7 days to ensure that the paint has fully cured. Next step will be to lay out the location for the final installation of the graphic. Starting with a tape measure and a pencil and a level, we're going to first locate the center point for the graphic. Using the level, we'll place 2 more points. It may not be as wide as the graphic is, but that's okay. We just need to make a line with this. I like to use painter's tape. Some people prefer a pencil. Either way, it does not matter. Make a line across those 3 points. This will serve as the top edge of your graphic during installation. To that end, we want to just be, careful and check it for level 1 more time. And mark the center of your tape as well. This will just speed up the process, make lining everything up much faster in the next step. Because as you can see, we've got a corresponding hash mark on our graphic itself at the top center. The last thing we'll do here prior to installation is flip the graphic over. Then, using the squeegee and or driver's license, we'll go ahead and burnish the entire back side of the graphic. This is the grid side we're looking at. We do this to ensure that after a long journey rolled up into a box, the different layers, the 3 different layers, are all adhering to each other properly. Otherwise, it could just make the installation a bit more frustrating. Once that's taken care of, we can go to the wall. We've got a nice level blue tape line with a central tape line that also has a center mark on it, and a graphic with a center mark on it. Bring those 2 center points together, get that top edge tight up on your blue tape line, and you can see here why it's helpful to have another person. It's physically just a bit too large to hold and then attempt to drag a piece of tape across it. Once we're happy, 1 person holds and 1 person lays down the hinge. This is a vertical hinge because the piece is horizontal. Obviously, if it were a vertical piece, the hinge would be horizontal. Now, that's not all we're going to lay down. We're going to put a second piece here because you really want this to be secure. You want to be able to walk away from this and leave it up on your wall for several hours if you felt like it. Don't want any movement at all. The second piece of tape helps to ensure that that is, in fact, the case. Once we're happy with the hinge, I would always check the level 1 last time before committing to laying down the graphic. Make any adjustments as needed, but if you've gone through the earlier stages properly, shouldn't be an issue, and it looks like we're good to go here. Beginning from the non-hinged edge, pull the entire graphic toward the hinge, and we're now basically holding the face of it against the wall as we start to peel the release liner away from the graphic. Once you get this off, you really want to make sure you've got a good grasp on that exposed vinyl portion to not let it fall over on itself. Then you're going to pass the release liner off to a helper as quickly as possible. They can go ahead and take it from there and cut off all of that excess, taking care to ensure that they are not cutting through the graphic itself. Once that's gone, we can walk the graphic back, getting the adhesive side toward the wall, Taut enough so it doesn't fold on itself, but not so taut that it hits the wall. Using your squeegee, going beyond the release liner, take it all the way straight out to the edge of the graphic. Just center out from here, center out, and the bottom half. And that graphic is secure. You can go ahead and remove the hinge now. It's not necessary for holding it up, and it's actually essential to remove it to finish the installation. Once that hinge is removed, we will take the remainder of the graphic, the portion that still has the release liner on the back, and pull it across that portion that we've already adhered to the wall until we find the edge of the release liner, and bringing in a second person again. One will now pull the release liner while holding the graphic, while the second person, using the squeegee, lays the exposed portion of the graphic down on the wall. As the puller of the release liner here, you just want to make sure you have good tension and don't let it get too slack. There needs to be communication. As the burnisher, you should be telling the person how fast to pull, to slow down if necessary. And you want to stay as close to that release liner as you can, but you don't want to hit it, you don't want to cause it to crease. Just a nice smooth motion up and down all the way across the entire graphic. Finishing, you always start at a corner. It's a little subtle here, but it'll start in the lower left and finish at the upper left. And you now have a securely placed graphic. Last thing to do is to remove the transfer tape. Much like taking the release liner off, start at a corner and pull away slowly along the wall, not away from the wall, but along the wall. You'll quickly learn how fast you can be pulling this. The graphic will sort of dictate that. If you have something with a lot more separate pieces like text, you're going to have to go more slowly and pay attention to every edge as you hit it. And just make sure you're not taking anything with the transfer tape. All right, so we'll finish that off, get the entirety of the transfer tape off. And the only thing left to do is remove any remnants of your layout markings. If you used a pencil, you'll have to wash that off or erase it. And you have successfully installed a two-person graphic using the Hinge method. Thanks for coming by. We'll see you again at Pot and Kettle Studios.